could be on fire and kissing a man's anus could be the extinguisher, and girl, I would not take it. Baby, I'm a burn. I'm going to burn. Type of video, your girl is back with another story time review to my channel. Hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't even have to say anything because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's on what? That's on period and Mary Had a Little Lamb. As y'all can see by the title and the thumbnail, this is going to be part 2 of my last story time. So y'all wanted to know, how did I confirm that it wasn't gonna work? Like, he was not the one for me and I was just settling for the best I ever had. And before we even get into this video, I have to wish y'all a happy new year. I believe I'm going to post this video on New Year's, and y'all, like, 2023 was amazing. Everything I prayed for last year, I'm literally living in it today. Like, God did his big one 2023. I'm so grateful for y'all, for everything that I've accomplished in 2023. I want to know what God did for y'all in 2023. Let me know something that you had a goal to set in 2023 and then God did it in 2023. Let me know some of y'all goals and accolades that y'all accomplished. And again, thank y'all for supporting me all year. Thank y'all for commenting. Thank y'all for liking. Like, even if you never comment, like if you a silent watcher, you never comment on a video, but you always tuning in with your girl, you always checking in with me, you always, like, if I don't post for a while, the ones that are in my DM saying, Asia, you good? Are you okay? Like, girl, thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful for y'all. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. And in the last story time, I believe we named him Santa, so we can go ahead and stick with that story time. Also, if you have not seen that story time, make sure you click right here and come back to this video, girl. So boom, I told y'all it was the last 2 weeks of me being in Orlando. I had literally just told him, like, we're not gonna be together anymore. I'm moving to a new state. And at this time, I don't think it really hit him yet. Like, I don't think it settled into his heart. Like, it didn't sting. Like, he didn't feel that sting yet. Cause like I said, I had just told him and he was thinking everything was gravy. He was thinking everything was good. Y'all know those guys that think like, oh, she ain't never gonna leave me. Like, I do this, I do that. Like, I do all these great things. She's not gonna ever leave me. Like, she's not gonna ever, you know, reach for more, like want more at this time. So I think this was his mindset, because if you've seen that last story time, it would be things that I would mention and he would just like kind of blow it off like, nah, like that's not gonna happen. Like, he wasn't really positive when it came to like some of my dreams and aspirations, y'all. So boom, like I said, the last 2 weeks was very like fairy tale. Like, he was the quintessential of a boyfriend, like the ideal boyfriend, y'all. He was that for the last 2 weeks. And I also want to mention, because I know someone commented on my last video about something about I forgot exactly what her comment was, but it was something about that had to do with rent. She said something like, oh, you were staying there and you knew you were breaking up with him. Like, why did you still reap the benefits of being a girlfriend and you already knew that y'all weren't gonna be together? And I didn't mention this in the story time, but he was a provider boyfriend, so anytime I needed anything, or when it came to like bills and rent and like car and like, you know, just everyday things, he would help and he would take care of those things. Like, if I didn't have something, y'all, he was gonna make sure I had, because, you know, he was my man. But when I decided that I was leaving for those the last 4 months, when I got that confirmation that I'm signing a lease, this is my moving day, like, it's locked and loaded, your girl is leaving, I did start contributing to the household more. And fast forward to the 2 weeks, within that 2 week period when I told him I was leaving, he told me that he wanted to set me up like for success. Like, he wanted to make sure I had everything to, you know, go to Texas. So he told me that all the rent that I had paid, which was only probably like maybe 4 months of rent, y'all, and it was only a few $100s. He told me that he was gonna give me back that money to like make sure I'm good. He told me he didn't want me to pay for anything. He didn't want me to do anything right before I left, because, you know, he just wanted to make sure I was good. Like, he wanted to set me up for the last 2 weeks. And like I said, y'all, it was a fairy tale 2 weeks. Like, the relationship was perfect the last 2 weeks. We didn't argue. He was going above and beyond for me for these last 2 weeks. But like I said, y'all, everything was already set in motion. Your girl was leaving. So fast forward to that day that I was actually leaving. I told y'all I woke up at like 5 a.m. I called my Uber. and my Uber came at like 6 a.m. and this was November 2021, y'all. It was still daylight savings, so the sun haven't even came up yet, and the scene was just so like something out of a movie. Like literally, it was raining, y'all. Right when I was about to enter my Uber car, he was walking me out, and he looked at me and he said, like, "Are you scared? Are you ready?" And I told you, like, all the emotions had just hit me at once. I burst out crying. He burst out crying, and he gave me a kiss, and I got in my Uber, y'all. Like, I was on my way to the airport, and the whole car ride while I'm going to the airport, I'm kind of like battling back and forth with myself. Like, am I just being dramatic again? Am I just making like a really big decision and it's not gonna play out like I think it's gonna play out? Like, am I making a mistake, y'all? I'm literally contemplating that to myself in my Uber. But we're gonna go ahead and fast forward a little more, because if you've been as A1, you've been here. I had like a moving series. Y'all seen the vlogs, y'all know the journey from me relocating, so we're not gonna go too much in detail. Fast forward, it's Monday, and I think I mentioned this in previous stories, but if you're not new here, basically I didn't have anything planned. Like, I said what I wanted was to not have a job, and I wanted to live just, you know, a fairy tale type of life just for 3 months. Like, I was gonna move here, I was gonna get acclimated with Texas, and you know, your girl was gonna be outside. Like, I was gonna meet new people, I was gonna go out. Like, I had the whole thing planned out, y'all. For 3 months I was just like, I'm not gonna work and I'm just gonna live like this. I'm calling it a fairy tale life because at that time, that's literally what I thought it was. But it's crazy because it's my life. Like, I used to have a very limited mindset at that time. Like, the life that I have now, then I was just like, that can't happen for you. Like, you're not gonna have that. And it was for a lot of reasons, y'all. But anyway, this was my 3-month plan. I'm like, all right, every day I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be one of those girls that just, you know, get up, go shopping, and like, don't have a care in the world. Just live, you know, live life on your terms. I'm not gonna clock in, but I'm not gonna do anything. That was my plan for the first 3 months in Texas. And also, like I said, I had just got out of a relationship, so your girl was going to date. Like, I had told myself that year, that's gonna be the year of me dating. I'm not about to do what I used to do in the past. Like I told y'all, I've always been in a relationship. I never actually thoroughly dated, and I feel like a lot of women do that. We meet one guy, we become super attached to him, and then, you know, it ends up working out or it ends up not working out, and then we meet another guy and we give him all of our time and attention. Like, in 2022, that was my dating era. Like, hence why I got so many dating story times on my channel. But I told y'all, I was just like, I'm gonna date him, his brother, daddy, uncle. I'm dating everybody. Like, you get a date, everybody. Your girl was giving out dates all 2023, or I was going on dates all 2023, y'all. Like, it would be times where I would have 2 dates in one date with 2 different people. Like, I was in my dating bag, like my dating era, and y'all know I was on my dating app. Y'all remember the dating app era? I was on the dating apps heavy. So boom, soon as I got to Texas, like I said, I had got on the dating apps. Every day I was just going shopping for my apartment, and like maybe the 4th day of me being in Texas alone, because I told you I didn't have any family or friends, or I didn't really know anybody. So, you know, your girl I was starting to feel lonely, y'all. And my best friend told me that she was gonna come here. She said that she was gonna come to Houston and spend like 3 days with me. And I'm like, all right, now I'll have somebody here to explore the city with, you know, like, I'm excited, like, I'm ready. And mind you, when I got to Houston, Santa, remember, I think I named him Santa in my last video. So Santa, he was hitting my line. He was like, did you land? Do you like it? Like, of course, me and him, we didn't leave off on bad terms. So I did not hate the man. It was just, you know, I just wanted to stop settling. Like, I just didn't want to be in that situation anymore. So me and him are still talking. I'm like, yeah, everything's nice with the apartment. I like it. I met a few of my neighbors. Like, everything is going well. I'm showing him like new items that I add to the apartment. We're calling, we're FaceTiming. Like, he's checking in on me, making sure that I'm good or whatever. And like I told y'all, this wasn't our first time. If you watch that video, you'll know this was the second time of us breaking up, but this time was for real because I had moved over 1,000 miles from where we used to live at together. So boom, my best friend, she comes to Houston, and when she comes to Houston, y'all, we outside. Like, we went to the mall, we went shopping, we went to the spot. We going to clubs, we going out the whole weekend. We're just going out a lot, y'all. And when we went out, we went to this one bar in particular, and we're gonna go ahead, and I promise y'all, this is a part of the story, but I gotta walk y'all into it. So I go to this bar called Prospect Park, and when I'm at this bar, I'm at the bar with my best friend. My best friend, let's just say she a little more polished than me, y'all. I'm not ghetto, but I love me a good ghetto spot. Like I love a good ghetto jam, and I had her out all night. We had went to all the little ghetto spots, and she wasn't feeling Prospect. Like Prospect didn't have any seats. Like the whole Houston was in this bar. Like everybody named mama was in there. So she was uncomfortable. She's not one of those girls that like to be smushed up between people. Like she's not one of those girls. But y'all, I had ordered something to eat, and I told her like, as soon as I get done eating, we can leave. Like, let me go ahead and eat my food because I had already paid like $1 a wing. Like, I'm not letting my $15 wings and my drink just go to waste. So I'm gonna eat my food, and when I'm done, you can go. But my best friend, she was kind of annoyed with me, like y'all. So she like sat literally by the door because she was ready to go, and I'm waiting at the bar for my food. But like I said, the place is hundreds of people in here. It's overpacked. It took a while for my food to come, and I end up meeting this guy. He's at the bar and he's eating wings, y'all. We gonna go ahead and call this guy Wilder. Let's. Do I want to do that? Yeah, we gonna call him Wildebeest. Let's be petty. So Wildebeest is sitting at the bar, and me and him, we start, conversing, and I end up giving him my number, and he asked for my number at the end of our conversation. The conversation literally just started off with like, oh, like, how's your wings? Like, oh, I'm like, okay, I just ordered that sauce. Like, that's good. I'm literally just asking him about the food. I'm asking him about the vibe. I'm letting him know I just moved there or whatever. And he gives me his phone number, and I eat my wings, y'all. And me and my best friend, we leave or whatever. I eat my wings and we leave. That next day, Wildebeest texts me. He asks me out. He's just like, hey, me and my boys are going to be at this spot. I would love for you and your girls to come out. But like I said, my best friend is not the friend that's going to be in everybody's face. Like, she's not overtly friendly. I don't want to say she's rude, but she's just not the friendly type. So I already knew like I wasn't going to be able to meet up with this guy when she was there. And like I said, I'm there. My best friend is in my city now, and we there to turn up and have a good time. So me and her, we're doing our thing. She ends up going home. Fast forward, I'm talking to Wildebeest, and I'm assuming that Wildebeest is from Houston because, like I said, y'all, I met him at a Houston bar, and he literally invited me out the next day. So I'm just assuming that he's from Houston. We end up talking. Wildebeest tells me that he's from Atlanta, but he lived in Houston, but he visits Houston a lot. He has a lot of friends out here. So I'm just like, all right, this is another one of those situations, and this is another little interlude that I have to let y'all know, because if I don't explain it, y'all not gonna know what I'm talking about. So I wasn't hip. Like I told y'all, I had just got out of a three-year relationship. Your girl hadn't been on dating apps since like 2019, 2018. That was the last time I had been on dating apps. And I never been on dating apps as like I want to say like in a new city. I had never been on dating apps in here. If you don't know, and I'm putting my girls on that live in bigger cities, I don't know if they do this everywhere. Y'all can let me know. But at this time, what men would do, they would be, and y'all know Houston is a touristy area, so people are always coming here from all over the place. They would come to the city and they would start snagging a whole bunch of girls' numbers when they would come to the city, and they would snag them off of the dating apps or whatever. And then when they get here, they'll hang out with the girl, they'll take her out, and you'll start planning your whole life with this man, and they'll swindle you out your punani, they'll do all of that, do all the nice things, shower you with gifts, do all this extra stuff, and then you'll be like, wait, what happened to him? Like, why is he switching up? The whole time the man don't even live here. Like, this was a thing that I noticed on the dating apps a lot during this time. And I'm not crazy, because my other girls that's from Houston, they know exactly, that's been on the apps, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So I had caught on the game quick just from me being on the dating app. That first week when I was there, it was a lot of men that would be on the dating apps, and then I would be like, oh, do you live here? And they'll be like, no, I don't live here, I'm just coming for the weekend. So I'm just like, well, why your location say that you in Houston and you telling me that you live in Antarctica? Like, why? Like, baby, those two things don't work up. He's just like, yeah, I just want to make sure I have some friends when I'm in the city, when I this and that is not that. You will not try to swindle me out some punani for the weekend. Like, I won't be your Houston punani having, I don't know what they do, y'all. It's weird. Or man, they'll come to Texas and they'll think they're about to sleep on somebody's couch after they just met a girl like 2 weeks off of a dating app. And it happens all the time. No shade if you one of those girls that meet men on dating apps and you let them stay at your spot when they in the city. But I was thinking that Wildebeest was one of those guys. Like I said, I had already experienced that the first week of noticing a plethora of guys would be claiming they're in the city, but they're not really in the city. Like they're putting Punani on layaway. That's basically what I'm trying to say. They was prepping that thing up, putting a pre-order in before they get to the city to make sure it was ready. They're basically prepping to get Punani once they get to the city. So I'm thinking like, all right, this man, he told me that he lives in Atlanta and he was just here for the weekend celebrating with his friends. Like, let me just, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about really talking to him. But like I said, Wildebeest, he had a lot going for himself. He had a very, I don't remember exactly what his job title was, y'all, but he had a very high paying job. He looked good. He had a nice car, y'all. Like, he just, when it comes to like fitting the description, like the ideal man, he really looked good, y'all. He checked everything off the box. Cause like I said, me and this man had talked for like maybe 3 days at this point, and I was already just like kind of side eyeing him just because I knew what type of men were like in Houston and on the dating apps, although I did not meet Wildebeest on the dating app. So keep that in mind. Like I said, me and Wildebeest, we're talking, and I will always have this little inside joke with Wildebeest, and I would be like, put the kids to bed for me, kiss your wife good night or whatever, and like I'll talk to you tomorrow. And he will always be like, oh no, I don't have kids, I don't have a wife. But it was our little inside joke. Like, that's my personality, y'all. I would always just be like, anytime before we would text, or it probably would be like once a day, I would just throw a little joke or a little jab at him, and it would be something that has to do with wife or kids. And I knew that this man did not have a wife and kids because he told me he didn't have a wife and kids. But I would just throw the little joke out because I thought like, you too good to be true. Like, what man, why are you single? Like, you look great, you have a great job, you have a nice car, you have a nice personality. Like, y'all, he was funny. Like, he was like, in the eye of just looking at him and speaking to him, he was very charming. Like, you would think like, oh, you would have been snatched up. And you in Atlanta, you know how many single successful women there is in Atlanta. Like, why aren't you married or why aren't you taken? So that would be the girl. I don't know how I forgot to tell y'all the most important part. He was also 36. So that combination of great characteristics and on top of him being 36, it was just unbelievable. Little inside joke that I would have with him, and he would never get offended. He just started going along with the joke. Mind you, while I'm dating Wildebeest, I'm also dating everybody else. Like, I'm dating other men while I'm still in the city. Santa is texting me throughout this whole thing. He's checking on me, asking me if I feel comfortable, how am I doing. He's asking me, have I started looking for a job? And this is only like I want to say this is like my 3rd week in Texas at this point. And on that 3rd week, y'all, it started to hit me that I was lonely. Like, I didn't have any friends in the city. I didn't know anybody. Like, I just got extremely lonely. Like, I kind of got homesick a little bit. And if you ever went through homesick, you know, you just be overthinking your whole life. Like, y'all, I knew I had made the right decision for me, but at that time in the moment, I was overthinking everything. Like, I was like, I don't know, y'all, I started getting sick, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, who's gonna take care of me, like, if I get down bad? Also, this was in, I want to say, the beginning of 2022, y'all, so COVID was still very much here and still alive. So I'm like, oh my gosh, if I get sick, who's gonna care for me? Because I don't have anybody that I can just call to take care of me, you know, like, my family is 1,000 miles away. So I started just, you know, contemplating and thinking about all these things. And like I said, I was still going on dates, I was still speaking to people, but I'm not the one that's just gonna skip all the steps, because man, they love to skip the small steps. I'm not skipping all the dating steps. I'm not about to just be like, oh, because I'm lonely and I want some company, I'm just gonna invite somebody to my house. Like, that's not me, y'all. But I did want company. I did want a companionship at that time, but I wasn't skipping any other steps with the man that I was meeting on these days. Girl, you missed one step, and now he forgot to tell you that he got a baby on the way and he waiting on his citizenship. No, ma'am. Also, it was the holidays. I didn't go home for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's. So I was just feeling it. And Santa, he was on my line asking me like, oh, how are you feeling? And I'm expressing to him, I'm not telling him that I'm going out with people, going on dates or doing me, but I am telling him like, I feel lonely. Like, I feel like I want some sense of home here. Like, I feel like I need a friend here. My best friend had already came. My other friend had already came, but they went back home and your girl was still feeling lonely. So he was like, you know, I can come, I could take off work and I can come for, I think he said he can come for Christmas. He's just like, yeah, you know, I can come for Christmas. So I'm like, I I don't know. Like, we just broke up. Everything is still fresh. Do I want him to come and I end up going back? Like, can I handle him coming? Like, I didn't really know if I can handle him coming at that time, but I end up agreeing to him coming. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and take off work for Christmas and we'll spend Christmas together. He sends me like a flight confirmation that night, and he tells me that he'll be at the airport at this time. And it was probably literally like maybe 3 or 4 days before Christmas. So I honestly didn't think Santa was coming. But I was like, all right, at least I don't have to spend like this holiday alone. Like, at least me and him can go out and we can have, I can have some type of fun. Like, I don't think people should be alone on like major holidays, y'all. Like, I was never used to that. And I had spent my last 3 years with all my holidays with him. So I go and I pick him up from the airport, and from the moment we picking him up from the airport, y'all, the energy was off. Y'all know energy does not lie. Like, I should have already known, like, from that moment of me just feeling like, I don't know, like, I was excited, but from the moment that he got in my car, the energy was off. And I'm
pay attention to the way you feel around people. Energy never lies.
as soon as we get to my house, he's just like, wow, like, it's nice in here. Like, you can afford this? Or how much is the rent here? He started asking me all of these questions. So I'm telling him how much the rent is. And he was like, dang. So the whole time we was dating, you was collecting. Like, who gave you this? Like, who gave you this to pay for this, that, and that? Like, he kept questioning me. And it was really throwing the vibe off, y'all, because I said he did not see me as like independent or anything. Like, the whole time he's bugging out and he's looking at everything. He's like, how much this cost? Like, you pay, like, you pay for this? Like asking me all of these questions or whatever. And he also mentioned that he noticed one of the boxes. Like I said, y'all, it was literally like maybe this is the third week. I think it was the third week of me living there. So I still had hella boxes and stuff everywhere. And he recognized one of the boxes from when I was storing it in our place together. And he was just like, wow. So the day that you told me that this box right here was a bed for your beauty room, this was really a bed for your new crib in Texas. And I'm like, yeah, like, I lied. So we, joking around about that or whatever. And he was like, bro, I should have knew something. Like, you had 90% of this stuff planned out and like you never told me. So immediately, soon as he gets there, y'all, he's basically reminiscing on our relationship, and he keeps talking about how he didn't know. Like, he keeps trying to pinpoint how he did not know that I was planning to like move and like break up with him. And I'm starting to get annoyed because you hear it and it's the holidays. Like, Christmas is like 2 to 3 days. Like, I don't want to talk about this. Flight landed like at 7 p.m. So we probably stayed up together for like 3 hours, and we went to bed at like 10, 11 o'clock, y'all. We go to bed. The next morning, I'm excited because he's here. I think he was here. He was there for like, what was it? I don't remember how many days he was there, y'all, but it wasn't a lot of days. It wasn't like a full week. I think it was like 3 days, 4 days max, but I'm really assuming that it was 3 days, y'all. So he's there, and I'm thinking, like, we on vacation. Like, he's never been to Texas before. I'm still exploring the city, so let's go somewhere. Like, let's go get breakfast. Like, let's do something. So I already had planned for us to go to all the hot spots in Texas, for us to try this, do this. They have, like, all these holiday things. I'm thinking we about to do everything like he my boyfriend, but he's not my boyfriend, if y'all get what I'm saying. So I plan all of this stuff out. I get up in the morning, and I remember I was making myself some coffee, and he hit me with the, Asia, come here. And I'm like, what? I go to the room, y'all, and he hands me my phone, and he was like, you dating niggas with kids now? And he starts like just spazzing out at me. And I read the text message, y'all, and it's a text message from Wildebeest, and it says, good morning, I just dropped the kids off to school. And when I seen this text, I bust out laughing because, like I told y'all know the insider that me and Wildebeest had. Like, y'all know the insider. Wildebeest don't have kids. Asia does not date men with kids. And also Santa knew that because he was my ex. So he's bugging out. He's just like, you dating men with kids? And I'm like, no, like, it's a joke or whatever. So I'm like, calm down. It's a joke. And he's just like, wow, I knew this was gonna happen. And like I said, I'm letting it rock at first, y'all. Like, I'm not getting upset. I'm not getting out of character. I'm not getting bothered because I know that it's an insider. So whatever he's saying is nonsense because I know what it is or whatever. So he keeps going on, and he starts saying, oh, that's crazy. When it came to me, it was this, but when it came to other guys, it was this. So he's basically trying to say that, well, I don't even know if y'all know that there's this rhetoric that some women, they'll make it so hard for some men, and then for the next man, they'll make it so easy. Like all morals, all values go out the window when it comes to a certain guy. Y'all know that saying. They say like good guys finish last, so I'm gonna be a bad guy because good guys finish last. Y'all, I don't know if y'all know, but y'all know that there's those red pill men that think like you should treat women a certain way because all women want is this, or if you were a good guy, they're not gonna treat you right. So he's trying to put that onto me. He was just like, whoa, when it came to me, you told me you didn't date men with kids. Like, you would think this man had kids. Mind you, this man didn't have any kids, but he was so mad because he thought that I was lowering my standard and that I was dating somebody with kids. And I'm just like, no, I'm not dating anybody with kids, but why are you so concerned? Why are you so mad? Like, why are you so angry? And he starts to be passive aggressive, y'all. He's just like, wow, like he's like talking about me, but he's not talking to me, y'all. He's like, wow, so I leave, we ain't together, and then you start dating men with kids. You come out here and you start dating men with kids. That's crazy. What else you doing? What else you doing? Have you slept with anybody? Have you slept? And I'm just like, why? Like, no, but if I did, that ain't none of your concern. Like, why are you worrying about who I slept with, who I didn't do this with? And he's just like, oh, well, for me, you made me wait this amount of time, you made me go through all of this. And for the next guy, you just been here for 3 weeks. So it's crazy that you got somebody on your line texting you about kids. And he said kids with a S, that's plural. So he got mad kids. And y'all, I'm doing his accent because this is like, if you know him, if you my friend and you watching this, if you know him, you know he's very expressive and he talks with his hands. Y'all, he was born in New York. He talks a lot. So he's doing all the hand movement, being very wild, like just bugging out. So I'm just like, bro, just chill. But he keeps going on and on about this. Because like I said, y'all, I'm really trying to let it rub off my shoulders because you only here because I was lonely. Like, we're just spending time together for the holidays. Like, why are you making this big commotion? We're not supposed to be arguing. Like, we're supposed to be on good terms. Like, it's Christmas in a few days, Santa. Like, calm down. Like, why are you doing the most or whatever? So now I'm mad, y'all, because he keeps going on and on about it. He keeps thinking that when I was with him, I had all of these requirements that he had to that he had to meet. And then now that I'm here, he thinks that I'm just out here being so wild and free, and I'm just like not making the best decision. So at the same time, I'm not really trying to bug out on him because I'm thinking like, all right, he's probably trying to look out for my best interest. Like, you don't need to be lowering your standards for anybody or anything. But y'all, that's not what I was doing. I was just, y'all know the insider. So he's bugging out. And a person can only bug out or be passive aggressive for so long before you start bugging out with them. So I'm just like, I'm not dating men with kids, but if I was dating men with kids, why are you mad? Like, why do you care? So now I'm engaging in an argument with him. So we bald-faced, we arguing, and now he ain't speaking to me anymore. So you in my crib in Texas, and you're not speaking to me. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is literally one of the reasons why we broke up in the first place. So I'm mad. But I'm still getting ready, y'all, because like I said, I'm not finna let nobody ruin my mood. Like, I'm mad, but I'm not finna let my day just be a horrible day just because we on bad terms. So, I'm in the mirror, I'm doing my makeup, I'm getting ready still. I think I end up calling my best friend, and I'm just, talking to her on the phone or whatever. And he hears my friend ask me like, oh, where you going? And I tell her like, oh, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going outside. Y'all, why this man bust in the bathroom? And he was just like, oh, you outside with the streets? Like, that's where you belong. Like, you belong outside. So now he's bugging, saying that I'm trying to be, I don't remember the term that he used, basically, y'all, but essentially he was trying to say that you for the streets now. Like, we break up and now you out here wilding because he heard me tell my friend that I was going outside. So the argument prolongs, but it's prolonging on his side of the door. Like, I closed the bathroom door and I continue to do my makeup because, like I said, I'm still going out. So probably maybe like 30-40 minutes later, I get done doing my makeup, and before I'm about to leave the house, I'm like, We here on vacation because it's a vacation for him, y'all. He came to see me. So let's make the best out of it, y'all. So I turned back to him and I was like, are you coming or not? And he was like, where are we going? And I'm like, I don't know where we going, but I'm not about to be in the house. Like, I just don't want to be in the house or whatever. Like, let's go shopping or something. Like, let's just get out the house. So I give him like 5 minutes to get ready, y'all. We end up going downstairs, and as we going downstairs, he's not mentioning anything. Like, his mood is like better. Like, you won't even think we had just gotten an argument because his mood just got better. Like I said, this man, the personality would just switch up like this. Like, he's not saying anything about the situation that happened. And like I said, I knew what it was. I knew that it was an insider between me and Wildebeest. So, and it's none of your business. So, I'm not about to go there with you. So we in the car or whatever, and at this point, I think we decided to go to, I don't remember the name of the spot. I honestly think it was either the Breakfast Club or another one of those like popular brunch spots in Houston. So we on our way there, y'all. He's not saying anything to me. We listening to music, we rocking out. We had like a 30-minute ride until we got to the Breakfast Club, y'all. And I had my phone connected to my car. And what is it called? What is that thing called? I don't know what it's called, y'all, but I got a notification, and my notification said a notification, and it didn't say who was actually texting me. And I did this when I was in the bathroom. I changed my settings and changed it to notification instead of like bringing up the whole text. And I like to see my text right when it hit my phone, but just because he was there, I was like, all right, let me be respectful so he don't read no more text messages. Let's be respectful. Like, I'm just gonna turn my notifications off on my phone, and it'll just say notification. Somebody call me, it's not gonna say who called, it's just gonna say notification, because like, you don't need to know my business or whatever. And like I told y'all, I was on the dating app. So at this time, I had already turned the notifications off for the dating apps because I didn't want him to know my business, who I was talking to, what I was doing. I didn't want him to know any of that. But he sees that pops up on the screen of my phone. It says text message and it says notification. So as soon as he see that, y'all, he just like, wow. So you don't like, I already seen his name. I already seen it said Wildebeest. So now you turn your locations on. Like, why? You change your notification. And I'm just like, yeah, because I don't want you reading my messages or whatever. Mind you, we're probably like 10 minutes. We're literally like, maybe not even 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes from the Breakfast Club. And if you know what Baggy Road is, you know how crazy it was for him to do this. So while we in the car, he gets mad because I'm like, I'm not letting it eat me up. He brings the whole thing up to me like, oh, you changed your notification, you're moving like that. Like, why? Like, we not together, so why you changing your notification? Why you doing that? Like, why you changing it? So he's arguing with me about me changing my notifications. And like I said, y'all, I'm cute. My makeup on, my gloss is popping. I'm not about to waste me getting the white stuff in the corner of my lip to argue with you. No, like, I'm good. So I'm just laughing in the car. Like, he keeps going on and on about it. So I start laughing, and the more calm I am, the angrier it's making him, y'all. And y'all be asking, y'all, I think somebody said my ex was a Scorpio, but y'all, he's not a Scorpio. He's a Pisces. So if you ever dated a Pisces man, you know, y'all. So I'm in a car, I'm in a seat like this, y'all. Seat laid all the way back. I'm just kicking and I'm just texting on my phone, and it's making him madder. Like, he starts beating on the what is it called? The steering wheel of the car. And y'all know this is my car. So I'm starting to side eye him, and I'm just like, calm down. Like, first, you doing too much. Like, it was cute at first, but now you're doing too much. So calm down, y'all. He's getting angrier, veins popping out today. This man is screaming on the top of his lungs. And he's like, I should have never came here. I should have never came here. Beating my steering wheel down, saying he should have never came here. He should have never came here. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Good. And mind you, y'all, this is literally day uno. I just picked this man up from the airport hours ago. Like, this is day uno. So he's doing all of this in the car, and it's honestly starting to scare me because I've seen him angry before, but to this level, never. And then he's starting to tell me like to be quiet and shut my mouth. And he was like, you on the passenger seat, everybody know if somebody's driving, like, you don't antagonize them. And I'm like, I'm not antagonizing you. I'm just not finna deal with it. Like, I'm not finna deal with your disrespect. And I'm gonna keep running my mouth, y'all. So I keep talking. Out of nowhere, right before you turn on Baggy Road, y'all, this man pulls into the shoulder lane. Mind you, the roads are busy. It's holiday season. People are in town. He pulls into the shoulder lane, and hops out the car. Like he did it in like a second. Like he pulls over, put the car in pop, hops out the car, don't even shut the car door. My car door is open, and he goes for a walk. He goes for a walk in the middle of us about to get something to eat. So I'm in the car and I'm looking back because he like jetted out of the car. It was like soon as he put the car in park, I looked over and he was gone, y'all. So I'm looking back out the windshield of my car. I turned all the way around and I'm looking back and I'm just like, stop playing with me. Like, I'm giggling, y'all, because I'm like, I cannot believe this is real. Like, I cannot believe this is my life. Like, why are you doing all of this or whatever? So I reach over, I close the driver door, y'all, and he's like halfway turning into a dot. Like, I can barely see the man. Like, he's down the road, just walking, pacing back and forth, trying to like cool down or whatever. And I'm in the shoulder lane, about to turn onto Baggy Road on the highway. If you know how busy Houston highways are, then you know how crazy this was. So I'm literally in the car and I'm in awe, y'all. I couldn't believe that he just did that, and I really didn't know what to do. I'm like, do I just leave him? Do I pull in the driver's seat and just go? And I don't say, like, I really don't know what to do. I'm just pacing. But the only thing I knew that I wasn't going to do was go run after him, because y'all, if it's one thing about me, I'm not kissing no one's behind. I could be on fire and kissing a man anus could be the extinguisher, and I would not use it. I will burn, baby. I will burn. Like, that's what I'm not doing. I'm not kissing no one's anus. Like, I'm very prideful when it comes to kissing and running behind a man. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sit back. If a cop come, if somebody come, I'm gonna just let them know what's going on. Like, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm not gonna do anything. So I'm in the car. And I'm probably like, I don't know, scrolling on Instagram, or I don't know, y'all. I'm probably doing something on my phone. I just remember being in my phone. And after like 30 minutes, he comes back to the car and he was just like, I regret coming here. I should have never came here. And I'm just like, yeah, like, I agree. You shouldn't have came here. And I'm using this like sarcastic, calming voice, y'all, because the calmer I am, the angrier it makes him. So I'm just like, yeah, I agree. You should have never came here. Like, book your flight, change your flight today, like leave tonight or whatever. So I'm encouraging him, like you should leave or whatever. But he couldn't leave, or he could have left, but I knew he didn't want to leave, y'all, because the flights, like, if you change your flight and it's like, at this point, it's like 2 days before Christmas. So the flights would have been like crazy high. Like, the flights would have been mad high or whatever. So we go to the Breakfast Club, and I order my food. He ordered his food. He pays for the food. After we go to the Breakfast Club, we eat or whatever. And at the table, we're not really, like, we're talking a little bit, but we're not really talking. Like, we're talking about the food, and he's saying, like, it's a nice place or whatever. And we're not really talking, if you know what I mean. Like, we're talking about everything but the obvious. Like, we're not talking about the situation that just happened or whatever. So we leave there, and when we leave there, I think he wanted to go to the Mall of Millennial. So we're on our way to the mall, y'all. And when we get to the mall, what happened? Oh, okay, I remember. We get to the mall, and as soon as we get to the mall, I see like hella men at the mall, and everywhere, and they fine, and they probably was shopping for their wives and their girlfriends. So like I said, it was like 2 days for Christmas, so the mall is going crazy. Like, everybody and their mama in there. And we go into this one store. I don't know what store it was. I want to say we went into Gucci, but I do not remember, because he wanted to change something out or whatever. But when we in there, there's this guy in there, and you can tell, like, y'all know, when a man is checking for you. Like, it's just by the look, by the, So I see this guy, he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, but like I said, I'm with Santa, so I'm like, I'm never gonna like openly like, disrespect anybody, because that's just not who I am. Together or not together, like, I'm not gonna intentionally disrespect you in that manner. So I leave out the store because I'm like, I need to get away from you. I just need to get away from you, because I'm with you and people thinking that we together, and we together, but we not together on that level, if you know what I mean. So I leave out the store, y'all, and I start standing in front of the directory, like, of the Gucci store, because I want this man to come out and see that I'm solo. Like, come talk to me, ask me for my number or whatever. Because like I said, I was intentionally trying to meet men in Houston. Like, a lot of people that I was matching with on dating apps, they were not really in Houston, y'all. So I walk outside the store, and I'm looking at like the directory, like acting like I'm looking for a store that I want to go to, y'all. And the man, he comes, but I notice when he comes, like when I look at him, I see my ex like coming as well. So I'm like, all right, let me just wrap this up real cute. Let me not say too much because I don't want it to be an issue in this mall. So I'm looking at the directory. The man is coming my direction. I see my ex also kind of, straddling behind him. So I'm like, all right, I already know to keep it cute. So the man, he comes and he's just like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And he starts asking me like, oh, what's my name? And I'm like, oh, my name is Asia. And, he's like, what he said? I think he asked me what I was looking for or what did I buy. I don't remember, y'all. I think I had like a Zara bag. He was like, what did you buy or something like that. And I'm like, keeping it cute. And I'm like, oh, I just bought this little top to wear on this date to this event. Like, I'm keeping it real cute. Santa comes, y'all. This man wraps his arms. He wraps his arms around me like this, like on my shoulder, y'all. He wraps his arms around me and he was like, yeah, they didn't have the what was he trying to get, a tie? I don't know if it was a tie or a scarf. I think it was something small, y'all. He was just like, oh yeah, they didn't have like whatever I was looking for. They didn't have it in stock. And then he kisses me right here, y'all, on my cheek. He kisses me and he was like, yeah, let's go. While I'm in the middle of talking to this tall, dark glass of chocolate, he kisses me. So we walk off and I'm so annoyed, but I can't do anything but laugh because I'm like, really? You just told me you regret being here and now you cop blocking. Like, I can't with you. So the whole time we'll be in the mall, everything else is good. I'm pretty much glued to him because if he sees me talking to anybody or looking at anybody too long, I don't know, y'all, he starts getting like very, I don't know, obsessive, like wanting to like be on my body. Mind you, he had never been like this. Our entire relationship, he was not the insecure type of guy. So why would you be, I wasn't expecting this to come from him because like, why would you be being hella insecure when we're not together? Like, we're literally not together. This is the wrong time for you to be being insecure. But I knew he was gonna act like that if I talked to anybody in the mall or made eye contact with him a little too long. So I just stayed on his body the whole time while I was at the mall. So we leave the mall, and after that, I think we was planning on going back to my house because he kept saying that he was tired. It was traffic. Y'all know how it is when you in traffic. But I insisted that I wanted ice cream. Like, I have a sweet tooth, y'all. So I'm just like, I want ice cream. I keep saying like, oh, I want ice cream. I want ice cream. And we go, but he keeps telling me no. He's like, no, you shouldn't get ice cream. Like, I don't feel like getting ice cream is hella traffic. You should just Uber Eats the ice cream when we get back to your crib. And I'm like, no, the ice cream spot I want is in this area. Like, it's not on Uber Eats in my area. So I keep insisting, like telling him like, I want ice cream. I want ice cream. He's like, no, you don't need no ice cream. Just Uber Eats it or whatever. And it gets to the point where I'm telling him, I'm gonna go back out and get the ice cream. Like, you can drop me off and I'm gonna come back down here to get ice cream. He was like, bro, you don't even have to do all of that. What's the spot called? We go to the spot, y'all. I don't even remember the name of the spot, y'all, but it was like one of those places that served the rolled ice cream, and they didn't have that by me. So we go to this spot and I get my ice cream, and once we get to the counter, y'all, I don't even remember if he got ice cream or not, but I do remember once we get to the counter, I don't know what I said. I said something to him like, oh, can you pay for my ice cream? And he looks at me and he was like, what? Pay for your ice cream? I'm not your man. Have Wildebeest pay for your ice cream. Or he was just saying like, have all the guys that's on your body, like have them pay for your ice cream. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay for my own ice cream. So I pay for my own ice cream, y'all. And when I sit down next to him, I'm angry and I'm mad because it's just like, why are you doing that? Like, you were never like this before. Together or not, even when we wasn't together for those last 2 weeks, you wanted to make sure you paid for everything and helped and did everything because you wanted to, well, quote unquote, in his words, he wanted to make sure I had the best impression of him before he left. Like, he wanted me to have the best 2 weeks. He didn't want me to remember the negativity and the things that we had been through in the past. Like, he wanted me to have the best 2 weeks. So I'm like, why are you acting like this now? Like, that's crazy that you acting like this over some like what, $5, $6 ice cream. Like, that's crazy or whatever. So he was just like, yeah, I'm not about to be buying you stuff. You're not about to be using me. Like, you don't use me long enough. Like, why would I let you use me? And one thing about me is y'all play with words. So I said use. How did I use you? Like, it's cool. Like, it's cool. Like, you are staying at my crib, but it's cool. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm basically hinting towards, like, oh, you can get a hotel, but I'm not coming out and saying, like, oh, you can get a hotel. So he was just like, all right, I'll get a hotel. I didn't tell him to get a hotel, but I was hitting at y'all. He's like, all right, well then I don't get a hotel. Like, I don't need to say that. I'll get a hotel. So we leave the place again, y'all. The whole day, like since he stepped off the plane into my presence, it's been turmoil, like the whole entire time. And I had to ask God. I was like, if he's not for me and I'm making the right decision, show me signs. Show me signs. And y'all, the red flags was just going off. Like, it was argument after argument. You didn't pay for this. Like, everything was like around money. Like, he just kept bringing up, you didn't pay for this. How much is this? Like, I don't know, y'all. He just kept focusing on those type of things. So fast forward, we do end up going back to my house. He doesn't get a hotel, but he was saying like, oh, I got money. If I need to get a hotel, I can get a hotel. But you asked me to come here because you was lonely or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I did ask you to come here, but now I regret that you even came because we keep bumping heads. Like, we just cannot get along. Like, we're not compatible. Like, this is just not gonna work. So the next day rolls around. Nothing worth mentioning happened that day, y'all. We had a normal day. The next day was Christmas Eve. Everything was pretty much shut down and closed, so there was nowhere for us to go. We just ended up getting takeout and we ate at my house. Nothing crazy happened. Like, we was cool at this point. Fast forward, it was gonna be the day that he was leaving, y'all. We got into another huge argument over literally nothing, y'all. It was just over the smallest thing. I don't even remember the argument, what it was. It's not even worth mentioning, but we basically got in another argument. And when he left, I told him I would take him to the airport, but he gets mad and he's like, nah, it's fine. I got money. I'll just Uber to the airport. So he goes, he Ubers to the airport. I'm not a nasty person. Like, I don't kiss a-hole, but I'm not nasty, y'all. So I text him, like, I hope you have a safe flight. Like, I hope you make it back safe. Let me know when you land. So that happens. Fast forward, he lands. He's back at his crib. I'm back in mine. I'm just like, baby, I would take loneliness over miserableness any day. Like, all this, it was just a miserable 3 days of just nothing but arguing, bickering. It was just terrible, y'all. I was already confirmed, like, I needed to do this and like we're not getting back together. But this really confirmed it. Like, a few days after that, because he did tell me he made it back home, y'all. So we was on good terms when he left. Ooh, let me back up. Also, another thing that I needed to mention was when he was there, y'all, he thought he was finna hop in some punani also when he was there. And I was kind of just like, no, this is not that. Like, when I said I wanted you to come, I needed companionship. Your girl was lonely. Like, I'm not trying to double back and sleep with you. That was another thing that I feel like also made our stay different, because he thought that he was going to have the benefits of me but not actually be with me at that time. Like, he thought that we were still gonna like double back. I know a lot of exes, like, people sleep with their exes and they, you know, they have that type of relationship, but that's not me. Like, I was not about to do that, and I don't know what type of emotional worms that would have opened up. I didn't know if I would have slept with him, if I would have, like, y'all already know sex is not just sex. So when it comes to me, y'all, sex is not just sex. I feel like sex is deeper than that. So I'm not about to go and sleep with you knowing like we just had a fresh breakup. So that could have been another reason why he was acting so funny during his stay, because I would not sleep with him. But back to where I was at, y'all. A week later, he calls me and he's with his boys, and it's a lot of commotion going on in the background. And it was like early in the morning. I don't even know where they was at or what they were doing or why. Like, why do you even feel the need to be discussing me or this topic like at like 10 a.m. It was like 9 a.m., y'all. So he calls me and he was just like, did I take care of you? Like, did I take care of you? Did you want for anything when you were with me? Like, questioning me. And I'm like, one, who's asking? Because based on who's asking, the answer is different. Like, who's asking? And then I hear all the boys in the background. They're like, oh, see, you not that guy. You not that guy. You not P. Nah, you not P. You not that guy. So I'm like, who was all of that in the background and who was asking? Because like I said, y'all, we were together for 3 years, so I knew most of his friends, but none of these voices in the background sound familiar at all. So I'm just like, who are you talking to? Who are you with? Like, what are you talking about? So they're just like, yeah, answer the question. Just answer the question. Yes or no, yes or no. And I'm just like, no. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't take care of me emotionally. physically. No, you did not take care of it. He's like, no, we're not talking about it. We not. I said, he said, financially, did I handle you? Did I do my business, or was I a grown man about mine? I'm like, yeah, in that aspect, but not in all these other aspects that are far more important than that aspect. So he just like, all right, bye. You heard her. You heard. Y'all know how men from New York speak. He's like, you heard, and then the phone clicks, hangs up or whatever. And I'm just like, really? What, you really call me to boost about what you have done for me to men that I don't even know? Like, why is that something you even calling me or speaking to me about? And then even later after that situation, I think maybe like 2 days after that, he was like, he texted me on some like, oh, why you trying to embarrass me in front of people? And I'm like, how am I trying to embarrass you about this? Like, why is this something that y'all are even discussing or whatever? So that, again, y'all, it led to another argument, and that's how I just know. I'm like, yeah, it was cute, but this is just too much. Like, who calls and who cares about stuff like this? And it's probably a lot of men that care about stuff like that, but not for the right reasons. Like, not in a way that's just like, oh, I did this because I wanted to do this. It's just like, no, I did this so I can say I did this, if y'all get what I mean. But girl, that's pretty much the end of this story time on how I found out how I reconfirmed, because I already knew like this was not going to work, but this is how when he came to visit me, how I realized. And God confirmed, like, girl, just close this chapter, close this door. Y'all can only be friends. Y'all cannot get along and be together romantically, and close the chapter so new chapters can open. So that was pretty much the end of that story time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down something below that y'all have planned for 2024.